You ever notice how Una O'Connor walks into a scene and suddenly everyone else disappears? It doesn't matter if she's standing next to the monster, Claude Rains, or a literal explosion. Somehow your eyes are watching her. She didn't have the looks of a leading lady nor the voice, and she wasn't someone pushed to the front by the studio system. But she made the choices of somebody determined to stand out by any means possible, and she did it so well. She didn't wait to be memorable, she decided to be. Today, we're diving into how Una O'Connor, a woman who never played the lead nor a monster, became one of the most iconic forces of the Universal Monster era, and may be the earliest example of main character energy from someone who was never meant to be a main character. I'm Antonia Carlotta, and this is Universally Me, the channel for all things Universal and classic horror. My family started Universal Studios, they made the Universal Monster movies, and they gave Una O'Connor some of her best roles. Una O'Connor came from the stage, and it shows in the best of ways. Born in Ireland, she lost her mother when she was 2, and her father soon moved to Australia. So Una was raised by an aunt. She originally thought she'd be a teacher, which imagine what those classrooms would have been like. But she soon became a fixture on the London theater scene. But even as a fixture, she struggled to find stability. There were many times she feared if she'd even be able to make rent. In 1933, her luck finally changed when she was cast in a stage production of Cavalcade, where Hollywood execs took notice of her and brought her out to reprise the role on film. When most actors transition to film, they learn to tone things down, but not Una. She turned it up. From her very first line in Cavalcade, she blends dramatics with this grounded honesty. She understood contrast so well, big reactions layered over these real emotional beats, like extremism and realism at the same time. And her sense of timing was impeccable. Just a few months later, James Whale cast her in The Invisible Man, and he really captured the hysteria and camp she's now remembered for. Every shriek, every gasp, every fluttering hand, her physicality and exaggeration in every movement, like a symphony of panic. Una made the terror fun, and she gave the audience permission to laugh while being scared. And that tone, I think from both her and James Whale, set them apart from everyone else. And without Una setting the tone at the beginning of The Invisible Man, I think the whole film would feel a lot darker. 2 years later, James Whale brought her back for The Bride of Frankenstein, and Una turned it up another notch. As Minnie, the housemaid, she doesn't get a ton of screen time, but she still serves many functions. As she reacts and gossips, she narrates the scene, and she brings levity to otherwise heavy or sad scenes. In this movie, full of monsters and a mad scientist, she represents a pure, unfiltered human reaction. I know she can be divisive, but nobody can deny her impact. She became the blueprint for the horror comedy side character. Terrified, dramatic, and annoying in the funniest way possible. She gives the film a heartbeat, albeit a panicked one, but a heartbeat nonetheless. Una O'Connor was a master of timing. She knew when to squeal, when to pause, and when to deliver a line that made you laugh right after holding your breath. And she always stayed just this side of parody, which is so much harder than it looks. I have so much respect for that. Even when she was ridiculous, she was believable. The kind of person who genuinely would lose their mind at a reanimated corpse or invisible man, who would overreact, panic, make it about themselves, and scream some more. To see an example of her range, I love looking at John Ford's The Informer from 1935. Yes, she still has her hysterical scene, but she also demonstrates so much restraint. Look how beautiful she is in this final scene, quiet and still, yet her eyes say so much. Una's career didn't stop with Universal. She consistently booked roles. Watch her in The Adventures of Robin Hood, Of Human Bondage, Christmas in Connecticut, and Random Harvest. Always supporting roles, but always unforgettable. There's something in her physicality too, the way she tilts and sways and moves. She steals my attention from every scene. She played every variation of flustered woman: landlady, maid, mother, widow, barmaid. It could have been limiting, but Una made each one feel distinct and totally alive. And because of that, she carved out this permanent niche in Hollywood. When television came around in the 1950s, a lot of actors saw it as a step down, but not Una. She loved it. She saw it as a challenge, almost this combination of stage and film. She loved that it let her play so many different parts, though she did wish she had more time to rehearse and get into character. Though the medium changed, her characters didn't. She played worried mothers and gossipy neighbors, pretty much classic Una. In the 1930s, movie audiences packed into theaters to watch her scream her way through The Invisible Man or Bride of Frankenstein. In the 1950s, people watched her do the same thing from their couches. And even on TV, which might feel more intimate in your living room, she didn't shrink herself down. And for an actress who made a career from being memorable from just a few minutes on screen, TV was honestly the perfect medium for her. Shorter scenes, quick emotional switches, these things were her specialty. Behind the scenes, Una O'Connor had a weak heart, and as she aged, it gave her trouble. In Witness for the Prosecution, her last stage role in 1957, she was bedridden all day except for the time she was on stage. It says a lot about her commitment that she was acting all the way until the end, until she literally, physically couldn't anymore. Una O'Connor built a career on being too much in the best way. She made it her brand, and she was one of the first women to turn this into a superpower. She practically invented a character type that still exists today: the high anxiety comedy foil and the dramatic supporting character who manages to take center stage. Though she didn't do horror, I see a lot of Una O'Connor and Diane Keaton's work. That infectious, almost anxiety-inducing excitability on screen. I also look to Margot Martindale or the early days of Melissa McCarthy, actresses not playing the lead, but somehow stealing scenes wherever they turned up, and making bold choices that might seem crazy coming from some actors, but somehow feel real coming from them. Una O'Connor knew exactly what she brought to a movie, and she delivered it unapologetically. She made horror movies more fun and comedy more chaotic. And let's be real, if you can hold your own next to Boris Karloff or Claude Rains, you must be doing something right. In the comments, let me know which modern actress reminds you most of Una O'Connor. Don't forget, paid members are getting bonus videos, pictures, and more. It's the best way to support Universally Me. And if you like these Universal and Classic Horror deep dives, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button and the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.